Yeah, I don't want to go to jail for anything. I'm much too, weak.
And you're pretty. You are listening to the Stand Up Dads podcast.
This is hecka boring.
Yeah, it is.
Let's try again.
Hello.
You're listening to Stand Up Dads. This is Rob.
And Mike.
And this week, there's no focus. This is going to be more of a grab bag kind of episode where it's just random shit.
Yeah.
I'll start off with, took the kid to McDonald's and got him a Happy Meal, and he got a toy that he already had.
Yeah.
And he said, I already have this toy. Here, Uncle Mike likes toys. Give it to him.
What a good boy. Tell him thank you.
I will. And what was it? The Lola Rabbit?
Yeah.
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 So
We'll see how that toy works. The other one, Olivia got one that was like a little basketball Tasmanian devil thing that worked like a basketball hoop or something.
okay. Yeah, this one, you put the ball in her ears and pull back and fling it like a slingshot.
Oh, shoot. Olio liked that one.
It doesn't work very well.
Oh, it doesn't?
No,
Oh, okay.
It's kind of shitty.
I could see her trying to shoot it at me because we always do that when we get straws.
You're better off just putting it in there and throwing it like a lacrosse stick.
Oh, okay. Lame.
But I just can't. I didn't see Space Jam 1, so I can't see myself going to see Space Jam 2.
What's funny is I said I'd never seen it, but when it came out, I can't see myself not seeing it. I think I probably did see it, but I know I didn't like it. But this one I'm interested in. Some of the stuff sounded like it might be all right. I don't know. I'll still want it. Oli wants to see it, so I'm like, cool, I'll go see it.
So the first one was Michael Jackson, and the next one was LeBron.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Jesus
What's
fuck.
funny is
Michael Jordan.
Olivia had that same mistake where she was going to argue with her friend about it, that because to her he is a great singer or something.
Jesus.
It's like, it's Michael Jordan.
Michael
it's a whole,
Jordan,
it's like, oh, that's
excuse
right.
me.
Yeah.
And then this one is with
LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron James.
I think it was like a lesson in shit talking. Someone was interviewing Jordan.
Yeah.
And said something like, so how do you think your team would do against LeBron's team?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it'd be close, but I think we'd still win by a point or two. And they said, just a point or two? So, well, shoot, you got to consider some of us are in our 60s.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I was like, that is the best shit talking. I was like, wow, that's awfully humble of them. Like, oh, no, or modest.
We're almost in our 60s.
Yeah, some of us are in our 60s. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That was harsh. Speaking of harsh, I found an article, and this has nothing to do with parenting whatsoever,
Yeah.
other than the fact that I hope this is not someone's mom.
Yeah.
I was looking for bad dad stuff, and it's Who Remembers? So this is from 2013. Woman stabbed husband with squirrel on Christmas over beer.
With a squirrel.
Back in 2013 in North Charleston, a woman stabbed her husband with a squirrel. Yes, she had a ceramic squirrel she stabbed her husband with when he didn't return home with the beer he promised. So it's Christmas Day, and he went to the store to get beer, but came back home because it was closed.
Oh.
And his wife, Helen Ann Williams, took a ceramic squirrel and bashed him over the head. When it broke, she continued her assault and stabbed him near the left shoulder on his chest.
Oh, my God.
She was arrested for criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. Williams, the lady, claimed that the victim fell and cut himself.
He fell onto the squirrel.
When asked why she had blood on her hand and clothes, she said it was not the victim's blood and that it had been there. So she pled guilty in 2015 to second-degree assault and battery. However, she was arrested more than once.
Wow.
In 2017, she was also arrested for knowingly running over someone with a U-Haul truck. She was originally charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving death. It came out later she knowingly killed the person she ran over.
Oh, my God.
So-
Wow.
Imagine if this is your mom.
Wow.
So Helen Ann Williams, I hope you don't have kids.
Wow.
Woman stabs husband with squirrel. I'm like, how does that not get your attention?
Yeah. Yeah, that would do it.
Over beer. I'm assuming it's like they were drunk.
Yeah, totally.
And they're out of beer and didn't want, the day to end. So go get more.
Yeah, totally.
It's like there's got to be something open on. Shame on him for not being more resourceful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this is the first time he's ever known her to have a violent streak.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go home and face that music.
It's like, go to 7-Eleven's open all the time. Go there.
Who knows where they live? It might have been something where that's the only thing.
North Charleston.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe I guess that's the South, right?
Yeah.
A lot of dry counties out there. Maybe there are problems.
Yeah.
Okay, so leading from that, let's see. I will go back into a parenting one. Michael Palaskak is talking about how parenting is more like a shitty internship than a real job. Here goes.
A lot of my friends are married and they have kids, which it's got to be a lot, you know? Like they say being a parent is a full-time job, but it seems more like a horrible unpaid internship. Where like the first 5 years, you bring your boss lunch and he just throws it on the ground half the time. How are you running this company? I would never accept that job in an interview. They'd be like, do you want this full-time job? Oh, well, what does it pay? Oh, you pay. Thousands. For at least 18 years, or you could go to jail. Well, what do I get out of it? You get judged for asking that question.
You get judged.
What do you get out of it? You get love. For 13 years.
For 13 years.
10 to 13 years. And then you get judged and resented for 5 to 10 years. And then you get love again based on how much money you give them. I'm not saying that kids aren't worth it. I'm just saying that they cost more than they're worth.
That's
They do cost more than they're worth. So 10 to 13 years, you're running up on your limit.
I know. It's gonna turn at any moment.
I tell you, you're the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're so embarrassing, Dad.
You never let me do anything.
Oh, God. Drop me off here. I'll walk.
Yeah. Well, that's already been
is it?
Well, it's always kind of come back, but it was starting when she changed schools. Because when I first said I was going to do the art docent there, she was like, oh, my God, no, you know. And then when it went well, then it was like, yay, you know, it's back to, it's a good thing, happy that I'm there, you know. But yeah, it was already starting to be like, you might embarrass me. So I've gotten like a reprieve, I think, and the quarantine probably helped with that.
Yeah. Stop hitting on my friends' moms.
Yeah, leave them alone. No, she's the one. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, she'll always say that just randomly. What did she say? Where she was like, I think we talked about that in one episode where she was like, I want you to meet the mom, get the information, but tell her you have a girlfriend.
Yeah. Yep.
But in that case, it was like, do you think people are randomly like after me or something?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
let them know ahead of time. Like, all right.
Well, I do remember one of Ollie's birthdays where you invited her teacher over.
And everybody was like,
we just all assumed that, he's trying to bang her. Because why would you? I don't get it.
Oh, my God. That was like...
I was talking with your mom about this. I was like, is he trying to bang his daughter's teacher?
The one thing is that was like the star of the thing for Oli.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's cool.
And I think the big thing about that was that teacher had taught at her school and then was leaving that school and Oli was going to new school.
Got it.
So it was kind of like...
It's like a full circle thing.
It was a full circle thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kids that were there also went to the school. So it was kind of good where the teacher got to say goodbye to all the parents. But then Oli still got almost like... She's just happy with it. She got some of the stuff that was from the school. So the teacher had like made like a court stamp thing that she used in the school that she gave Oli with like a little letter, and so Oli still pulls that stuff out like, I got the thing. Like,
So she embezzled?
well, no, because that teacher never taught there anymore, so she gave her some of the stuff that
so
she
she
used in the
stole
class.
stuff from work before she quit.
Well, it was her own thing.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, Oli's still happy. Oli actually even asked about trying to have a video call with that teacher with a couple of her friends from. It's just one of those things where it's like for Oli, those first kinder, first and second, the friend she made there in that school and that teacher is like a very special thing for her, you know?
And then it went all fell apart when you offered to make it a sleepover.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, she really wants you to spend the night.
I only have the one bed, though.
Yeah, she really wants you to come on vacation with us.
This is pre-Annie. Don't worry.
Yeah, this was her. That was her big Harry Potter birthday. 9, which is another thing where it's held up where I've been like, do the things while they're into it. Because at the time I thought, should I wait and do this when she's 11? Because it means no. A year later, it was already like, no, I don't. That's when she was starting to want the stuff down, you know. So always,
do you ever
always
think that
go in the
she's
irons.
into Harry Potter for your sake?
No.
Okay.
But now I think she is.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
I think
Dad
because
really wants this. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but she's pretty freaking vocal about like, I don't want this in my room anymore. I don't want this. I'm over it. You know, she does not care about my feelings on that stuff. She'll just say like, I'm done with that. So she'll like certain things where she'll be like, oh, I want, this thing or, but that year and a half when it was like on fire, that was the right time to have that party.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to go for some more feel-good stuff in here, and it's hard to find.
Yeah.
But MIT professor goes viral for putting a crib in his lab to help a new mother. So he had a graduate student working for him.
Yeah.
And this is at MIT. And she just had a kid in July. And she was freaking out that she couldn't get childcare for it.
Oh.
And so he said, you know what? He went to some of the other people that worked with her, and they all pooled their money and got a travel crib.
Wow.
So she could go to work and bring the baby and put it there, and everyone takes turns playing with the kid. The kid's never alone.
And she's able to keep her thing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so...
Because she wants to keep that going, yeah.
Yeah, so, and it's her final year
Yeah.
in school. And it's graduate school. It's at MIT.
Yeah.
So Troy Littleton, the professor, fucking awesome guy.
Yeah.
And he, he's like, yeah, we love it. I guess when he was graduating, he had to skip his graduation because he had a shift at the Waffle House.
Oh.
And he's like, I'm not going to, this is bullshit. I'm going to make this better.
Wow.
But then they also talked about the challenge of childcare because you don't make much.
Yeah.
And I guess she was making like $40,000. And
Yeah.
they were talking about how like 30% of their money went to their housing, and they were living in school housing.
Yeah.
And like 80% of it was going to childcare, which that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just kind of pretty damn cool. Yeah, 50% of the salary goes towards housing, 80% towards childcare. The math simply doesn't add up. And yeah, and it's just, all these people are getting on waiting lists for childcare they can't afford.
Yeah.
So, and it'll never fucking happen. Instead of billionaires going to space, hey, how about setting up childcare for people?
Yeah, that's one thing they pointed out. It's like, if you want any idea of how the United States has changed, in the 50s and 60s, you had the United States racing against the Soviet Union to get to space. And now we have two guys.
Yeah, 2 billionaires racing against each other. Fuck.
Yeah. And just for profit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, we're going to make this a tourist thing.
For the rich. Yeah.
Boy. Well.
Yeah. Olivia made the proclamation that she's pretty much officially done with toys. That was... She just, I've noticed it over the time, like she got stuff from like Christmas that she never really got into starting and playing with. She's still like into making stuff. So like art stuff and clay, and she likes reading, but she's starting to be more into like clothes and fashion. And She does
It's
some
happening.
Yeah, because we had our buddies over, like Lily and Lauren. Lauren really wanted to play with the toys, and she was breaking them out. But she just told me afterwards. She's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm kind of over toys."
Wow.
She's like, "I don't really want." Like, we went with them on a trip, and they were getting toys when they were places, and Oli was like, "I'd rather get this necklace. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just not as interested in the toys anymore, or wanting to play with them." And I was like, "Oh,
Do
like,
you need a hug?
it makes me sad." But it was obvious.
Yeah.
You know, it's been obvious. She doesn't break the stuff out like she was. And that's a pretty big difference from just a year ago.
Yeah.
It's probably this last year that it's finally died off, that she was so into the toys, you know?
No more Nene dolls.
Yeah. That was the last little burst, was the Nana surprise.
Nana. That's right.
And the LOL before that, that's all died out. Yeah, she was even talking about, like, you know, we should sell some of it to get some money. And
wow,
they really are just taking up space. So now she'll just have to go with me to the toy aisle.
That's so sad.
And she's like, this is never gonna end. Why?
No.
Why do you still want to look at action figures?
Because I'm a child.
I still want to look at them. I don't got room for them, so I'm not gonna buy them. But we're gonna go look at them. Oh, what a waste of time, Dad.
Well, if you need some energy to keep yourself awake while you sell your kids' toys off on eBay, check out our sponsor, the Seattle Gummy Company. They make high-energy mocha shots, and you get all the caffeine in a cup of coffee 5 times faster for half the price of what you would spend for a cup of coffee at a chain coffee shop.
And they're delicious.
Yep, we've been enjoying these for over a year, and
I like them better than coffee. I don't really like a coffee, but the little gummies are great.
yeah, I remember I saw you drinking coffee the other day over at Annie's, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I've never seen you drink coffee.
Extracting caffeine.
I guess. Mike's their biggest fan ever. Yeah. Click the link in the show notes. Enter the code StandUpDads15. Get 15% off your order. Seattle Gummy Company. Stand Up Dad tested and approved. Get shit done. You can get merch. Get our ugly faces on your stuff. You can get mugs, notebooks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, keychains, whatever you want. And we're partnered up with Gag on This Podcast, so you can get their ugly faces on there too. All right, so normally this would bring up,
here's a story about a bad daddy.
but I got a mom here. I do have a bad dad too. But mother starts $5,000 GoFundMe for first grader. She says she has OCD because of critical race theory.
What?
So, Robin Steenman, the chapter head of Moms for Liberty in Tennessee,
Moms for Liberty,
is raising money for a family she says has been so traumatized by critical race theory that a first grader requires psychological help. So now they're saying that the kid's getting OCD treatment because she was taught critical race theory in first grade.
Oh my God. So does it explain what they think or how they got to OCD from it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just Moms for Liberty, a right-wing group run by conservative women who masquerade as a community moms organization. The GoFundMe page, the mom sent a letter saying that both of her kids are suffering from serious issues and her youngest child is a special needs kid about to enter kindergarten. Most notably, my 7-year-old has shown the most tragic changes. We went from a normal, functioning, sweet child to one who will literally crumble at the slightest challenge and word. And I'm thinking maybe it's because you're a shit mom and you didn't prepare your kids for anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's got to be something more there. Like, well, it seems to me like here's my excuse for something that may just be they may just have this, yeah. or do you have OCD? You know, like, or it's more likely.
And so for those of you, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around critical race theory.
Yeah,
because it's not really a thing. Like, it's not a packaged thing in schools.
Yeah.
It's not critical race theory class. It's a philosophy around teaching history.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know how, like, with the bad cops.
Yeah.
They say, oh, it's just a few bad apples.
Yeah.
But overall, the system is good.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing with history.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, the system isn't racist. It's just a few bad people.
Yeah.
In Texas, they had some textbook trying to call slaves workers.
Yeah. See,
you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to whitewash all of history.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I did not hear about that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you're a fucking teacher.
Wow.
So, anyway.
I teach art.
No, I know. But I mean, you would think that.
Yeah.
But let's see. So my daughter started coming home and asking very pointed questions about who she is and if she is a bad person. She came home extremely upset. She told me, Mom, I'm white and my friend is brown. I need to apologize to him for being white. White people have done bad things to people with brown skin. Now, this is an opportunity to be like, look,
Yeah.
It's actually, I would praise the kid for having some empathy.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, look, you did nothing wrong. And the fact that you have, and I almost said the fact that you have a brown skinned friend is a good thing right there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
In a way it is, but
Yeah.
like my kid, he still doesn't, he does, but he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a brown skinned kid. I'm not,
Yeah, it's just happening where Oli's even noticing it.
Yeah. And it's usually followed with a shrug.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And
Yeah.
it's exactly, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So she's the one freaking out.
She's more so, where she started to go like, oh, these friends are Asian, and I have one friend who's black. She just, it's like she's finally even like noticing. It's cool when kids are little; they don't
give a fuck.
They don't know.
Are we the same size? Cool, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's my friend that I like to play with. Yeah. If only we could keep that, then we wouldn't have all this.
So I'm blaming the mom up till now. It's like, you know what? You're a piece of shit. You don't know how to deal with your kids.
Yeah.
And you want the schools to babysit your fucking kids, but you don't like it. But they have to do it your way.
Yeah.
It just drives me fucking insane.
Yeah.
The curriculum has destroyed my daughter's self-esteem and created a world in which she is fraught with anxiety and is now in treatment for OCD caused by constant thoughts being represented by this material.
And it's not the material; it's how the mom reacted to this. Very innocent question.
It's an important thing, and it's. I think the kid's a smart kid for noticing. Like, hey, because that's what you would be like. Because I remember the first time.
Yeah.
When they, because I was always proud about being Portuguese as a kid.
Yeah.
And realized we pretty much started the slave trade. It's like, fuck.
Like, oh my God,
I didn't start the slave trade, and I'm not doing anything to support that, and I'm not honoring those fucking assholes. It's just, it's part of our history, and you have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, so it doesn't happen again. Yeah.
The mother said the child came home able to describe specifics about the Civil War as if they had been there.
Yeah.
The article goes on to say the Civil War is generally not taught in first grade. It usually begins in the 5th to 8th grade. So I think the mom's full of shit here.
Yeah. I don't see how it was brought up. Yeah. What it more likely might have been is just two kids innocently talking.
Yeah. Or it could be my brother said that this.
Totally.
And that
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Or I heard this.
Talk because Oli fucking kid.
Yeah, Oli will have that sometimes where she'll be like, I heard this on the news.
Yeah.
And you're like,
all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's mostly that she heard it from the other room or something.
Sure.
And heard this thing like, should I be afraid of,
Yeah. And I've had that with my kid. Like he'll come in and say, for a while it was the fear about COVID.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then we sit down and talk. It's like, how come they don't wear masks, but I have to? Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Instead of, you're hurting my child by not wearing a mask, or my child's being fucked up because he wears a mask and you don't. It's no. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And anyway, the mother went on to claim that her 7-year-old now has feelings of self-hate that border on suicidal.
Yeah.
And all I have to say is, I would be suicidal if this cunt was my mother.
Yeah.
She's threatening to take her kids out of school if CRT continues to be taught. Bye.
Well, yeah. Then take them out. Homeschool them. You do it.
That's not what we need.
Well, that's sad, though. Yeah, it's like the biggest problem is how do you get people like that who are already ingrained to not pass it on? Like, how do you get the kids that are in there to be more open-minded? And the thing that makes me the saddest is you talking with one of my niece that's like 17. It's like here the thing is like, well, my generation is much more open. And it's like
really not.
And that's how I felt in 1990.
And
I was like, man, when we're older, finally these guys are going to die off and we won't be dealing with so much rot. And it's like, it's gotten worse. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, who are these people that are age?
Things like, no one bats an eye if someone's gay nowadays.
Yeah, some things have eased up and it takes years for that. But I really thought we wouldn't be dealing with some of the stuff that's been like double or triple down on.
You still have Archie Bunkers out there.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the weird part.
That are our age.
But they just know how to speak better.
Yeah, and I'm sure people thought in you know, in 1970.
Yeah.
I'm in 1990 thinking, I'm sure people thought in 70 we're going to really change. And it's like, it's almost like sleeper cells. Like how many people that we know that we thought were open-minded and now we see them now and we're like, oh my God.
Open-minded.
They've turned into they've turned into these rotten mean people that, want everything. Yeah, I just don't get it.
Open-minded doesn't always fix stupid.
Yeah, and what's funny is people will get more caught up, I feel like, with the, race or gender or sexual preference instead of realizing, like, bottom line, we could probably find a pretty common ground on all of us being royally screwed by 1%.
Yeah. But we're all...
if we could be united on that, we could actually change stuff. But people are too busy like, well, I don't want that guy getting this, or I don't want this guy, or that person because they're this color. I don't want a gay person getting this, instead of going, we're all getting screwed at different varying levels,
The other day, it was like, okay, if you take 10 red ants and 10, regular ants and put them in a jar and just leave it alone, they'll just go on with their day and not bother each other. But if you shake the jar up, they'll all kill each other. It said something to the effect of, what we need to do is stop fighting with each other and figure out who's shaking the jar and why.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's nice.
That's a good way of putting it, because it's true.
It's like, oh, now suddenly it's like, well, like even like when it was healthcare, they're like, oh, well, you got the Cadillac healthcare plan. No, it's not. It got nothing to do with this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
You should be mad that you don't.
You should be mad that you don't. You should be mad
that they did.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why does he have something? You should take it away. It's like, no, let's make it better for everybody. But
what I don't get is when it's like, I'll talk to people like that, and it's like, I do have technically good health care, and I still end up paying so much out of pocket on my insurance that it screws me over and prevents me from doing stuff that I would like to do for Olivia or for, trips or something. And that's where I think people lose their thing. It's like, well, I work, so I have insurance, so other people should too. It's like, well, I work, and, it's just, maybe it hasn't hit you yet, but if a lot of people, they don't find it out till it's too late. Yeah. That's where you see those specials of like, well, now I know COVID because my husband died, Well, now I know because we lost our house because I got cancer, like.
All right. Well, before we get too far off tangent, I got the real bad dad. This guy's a piece of work. Father accused of forcing 8-year-old son to steal packages off porches.
Oh, my God.
This is in Pennsylvania. This just happened.
Now that's a son of a bitch.
Yep. Pennsylvania father faces multiple charges after police say he made his 8-year-old son follow delivery vehicles and steal packages off of porches.
Dang it.
39-year-old Alexander Soroka had his 8-year-old son grab packages from neighbors' porches in Youngwood and run home so the father could use or sell the contents.
Fuck. What a son of a bitch.
So apparently there were some neighbors that kept getting stuff stolen, and they were putting in, those doorbell cameras.
Yeah.
Is it like Ring or whatever?
Ring so they could see it, yeah.
And the boy was there, and they were talking, and he said, well, I know who's stealing the packages. And he's like, okay, who's stealing them? It's like, it's my dad. The kid ratted out his dad.
Yeah.
So the cops spotted the boy taking some goods, so he kept an eye on him.
Yeah.
Called the cops. The cops followed the kid back home. They went back to the dad's house. They found over $300 worth of suspected stolen goods.
Wow.
So it was like just an open and shut case. Pretty much, everyone around the town feels bad for the kid, but not the dad.
Yeah, absolutely. That poor kid doesn't know. 8 years old, as it is. Make his
dad happy.
Make his dad happy, but as it is too, like, terrifying for the kid, because no kid even wants to go up to somebody's door, let alone.
My kid would.
Really?
Although, that said, my kid would do a shitty job. It's like, it's too heavy, and he would just leave it halfway. But
all the good stuff would get left. They'd be bringing you the tiny ones.
Or you just open at the door and start getting distracted playing.
Yeah.
So I was talking with my wife about this. I was like, hey, what do you think about this one for a bad dad? And Owen was around, and I didn't think there was anything in here horrible. Yeah. And then it says here, Soroka faces multiple charges, including theft. His son is not facing any counts due to his age.
Yeah.
So Owen overheard this.
Yeah.
And he asked, and this is the part that freaks me out.
Yeah.
He goes, so if I do something wrong and blame it on you, does that mean I can get away with it?
Oh no!
You
That
did not learn the right lesson here,
oh
buddy.
my god! And what a scary jump to
It
make.
is.
Wow.
Because he just saw,
Oh.
so because he's 8.
Yeah.
This kid was 8. He's like, so I could do bad things, and if the dad gets in trouble, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing that scares me the most is that leap to if I blame you. You're like that's not what happened in this story.
Well, he did. He did say my dad's
Well,
taking him.
he told the
Yeah.
truth actually.
Yeah.
But to take that jump and go, oh, I can blame him and get away with it is
Yeah.
like that's a scary thing.
Yeah. So
That's what you took from this. You're a mastermind. Yeah.
I know. Well,
Wow.
So after the negativity of last week's show with the what to do if you don't like your kids, I felt like I needed to get some more positive stuff in
Yeah.
here. So this week, and they're hard to find these stories, so I'm not counting on these for every week, but we have a hero dad. So I
Oh,
should
good.
Play like a da-da-da.
Oh.
And you'll love this guy. California dad duct tapes man accused of breaking into daughter's room.
Nice.
This is in Grayson, California. Father of a 5-year-old girl captured and restrained a man with duct tape after the alleged intruder crawled through the window of the child's bedroom.
Oh my God.
Daniel Diaz, 39, of Los Baños, was charged with suspicion of home invasion, peeping, prowling, burglary, and child abuse. Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
He's a registered sex offender, and he was convicted of assault with intent to commit rape in 2009 and was released in 2018. So the dad caught the guy prowling around his house at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's see. He knocked on the door, tried to open the door, was peeking through the window, trying to see, and he was showing his private parts around the windows.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I know.
They thought the guy had left, but heard a noise minutes later. They heard a big noise, and that's when the husband went to go check. He took a screen off the windows and crawled into the girl's bedroom.
Oh my God.
The father entered the room, forced Diaz outside. He wrestled with Diaz, subdued him in the yard, and his wife helped restrain him with duct tape.
Nice.
There's security footage, and they got him pinning Diaz to the ground. Cops came 15 minutes later and arrested him. Bail was set for $150,000.
What a, yeah.
So that's one of those where the good guy won.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the kid's going to be freaked out.
Hell yeah. Jesus.
Then I think about that. I'm like, God, I'm too much of a wuss. If that happened, I'd probably end up getting my ass kicked.
Well, it's a tough one, yeah, because you're going to
I mean, I would try.
Yeah,
but-
you would try to overpower him. That's why you got, yeah.
And he's just lucky the guy
That's why
didn't
we
have
need-
a weapon or anything.
Yeah. I may need to invest in a gun. So
No.
I can shoot him.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna
when you
pull it- I'm not
accidentally
gonna pull
shoot your
anyone
own
down.
Kid. It's bullshit. Don't do it. And the thing is, you and me both, if we have a gun in the house, there's a good chance we'll use it on ourselves.
This is
And you know I'm right.
It is true.
More than one reason I don't need a gun in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Email us. Tell us what you think. thestandupdads@gmail.com. Subscribe, rate us, review us. That's how the show grows. If you want to hire someone to draw a picture of a woman stabbing her husband with a squirrel,
That one I would
do.
do. Yeah, this, you can write to me at Pencil for Hire. That's pencilforhire.com or Pencil for Hire on Instagram.
And check out the link for Clumsy Love. It is Mike's autobiographical comic collection. It covers about 5 years of his life before and after kids. I loved him when he was doing them real time, and I think you will too. If you don't, next podcast is free. Seattle Gummy Company. Again, click the link in the show notes. Enter the code StandUpDads15. Get 15% off your order. And get our ugly faces on your stuff. We have merch over at tpublic.com. Click the link in the show notes rather than hitting tpublic and searching for gag on this, because it's kind of, you're not going to be happy with what you find. And just get our ugly faces on your stuff. And finally, get the side project. God damn it. What are you doing?
What?
You're just totally out of it.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm thinking of how much clay I have found around the
I'm
house.
sure.
Like this. And I just found a piece. Yeah, only.
But it doesn't dry out.
This one is one that doesn't dry out that I got her.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's just a clay you can get at Walmart that doesn't dry out. And yeah, Oli will have it. I've caught her sometimes with it in her bed where you're like, hey,
Yeah.
get that out of here. Because it's like almost like she'll use it like a worry stone or
Sure.
something, like
Well,
when she's
that makes
sleeping.
sense.
But yeah, it's just a trip because I find it and I'm like, damn it. Like, It's everywhere in this house. Varying sizes. Sometimes little tiny ones. Sometimes
Part of
yeah.
parenting.
So I was actually trying to look around to see like, and she's smart. She knows like I'm all messed up from all the driving and stuff. So it's like I'm not bending down, so it's easier to hide stuff lower.
Jesus Christ.
Things can be hidden lower and further back.
You sound so 50 right now.
Isn't that bad? Yeah. Falling apart.
God damn it. Okay. Get the side projects gag on this podcast. That's run by Big Nick. We interview comedians all over the place. I don't know who we're interviewing this next one because we're doing these back to back. So we're 2 weeks in advance.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So last week we did cheese. That was a fun show. This week, I don't know, maybe we'll do crackers. I don't fucking know who we're going to have. But give it a listen. I guarantee you'll have fun. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thing I want to say is thank you all for coming. Bye bye.